Texas Republican and Chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Michael McCaul, joins me. Good evening, sir.
Thanks, Greta. Good to have you.
Congressman, there's been some discussion about a bipartisan resolution to condemn the Chinese for that spy balloon. And bipartisan, I underline. But tell me, do you think the Chinese even care if we have such a resolution?
Only if we could be united in a bipartisan way as Americans denouncing Communist China. But in answer to your question, probably not. I don't think they really care. I think this balloon was a test of this administration, and it was a very provocative act. They didn't seem to care that this canceled the meeting between Secretary of State and Chairman Xi. I think for them to do what they did was a real shot across the bow that they really don't care about good faith efforts to bring the two countries together, and that they're on their own path moving forward.
Is this a very serious event, or is this something, or is this just a story that has sort of grabbed our attention for the short term?
You know, I think it's serious in the sense that everybody will remember this. The visual of a spy balloon flying at this low altitude, which can surveil quite a bit, going all the way across the United States. I've never seen a foreign adversary nation fly an aircraft this low to the ground that you could see it in the sky. And so I think it's really the talk of the American people. And if anything, it just galvanizes and reinforces support against Communist China rather than anything else. I think Chairman Xi made a gross miscalculation as to what the response would be from the United States. I think he was testing this president. And I think in many ways, Chairman Xi believes that the president failed that test by not shooting it down before it entered the U.S. airspace in mainland America.
All right. August 21 seems so long ago, but I read your op-ed about Afghanistan and the treatment of women there. So it's a two-part question. One is, do you expect that President Biden will be talking about leaving Afghanistan? It was a year and a half ago. Is that an important part of his message tonight? And secondly, what is it that the U.S. can do, should do, or want to do about the women in Afghanistan, because they have lost everything?
They've lost everything. My special guest is Ambassador Roya Rahmani, who served as the Afghanistan ambassador, first female to the United States. She's a dear friend. I was with her during the collapse of Afghanistan and the Taliban taking over and the rule of the Taliban. What they've done to women in that country is demoralizing. No education, can't go out publicly. I just brought her as a special guest to remind the president and the American people about all the women who were left behind. You know, we left Americans behind. We left our Afghan partners behind, about 100,000 of them. But leaving the women behind was probably the grossest violation, the biggest moral sin, if you will, because of the way they're being treated by the Taliban. And when you talk about human rights around the world, this was all really at the action of this one president and this failed debacle of a withdrawal from Afghanistan that has led to so much chaos. And Greta, I would argue that that was the beginning, the turning point, when we were projecting weakness, not strength, when President Putin started thinking about invading Ukraine. In fact, we saw in satellite imagery the Russian Federation coming towards Ukraine to surround it. We got the intelligence about the invasion. It's also when Chairman Xi started looking at Taiwan and the Indo-Pacific and the Pacific Islands. That was a real turning point in history. And again, he's projecting weakness, not strength.
Well, Congressman, there's a lot to talk about tonight for the president to talk about, both domestically and foreign, and I hope he touches on all those topics. But it'd be a longer night than usual if he did. Congressman Michael McCaul, thank you, sir.